Welcome to the Intuitive Therapist Podcast with Janis R. Cohen, therapist, clairvoyant, empath, and medium. Listen in as she takes a no-nonsense deep dive into real human struggles and how to resolve them. Janis will share channeled information from her spirit guide team, as well as the angels and archangels, to help you master your emotional, physical, financial, and spiritual destiny. And now, Janis R. Cohen.
Hey y'all, this is Janis Cohen, the Intuitive Therapist here on the Intuitive Therapist Podcast. I hope y'all are having a great January. It's hard to believe that we are in the middle of it in 2023. And I know for me, I have felt incredibly renewed. I am excited about what's to come, things that I don't even know about, but also things that I am preparing for. So it feels really good to be in this space speaking to you today. But I wanted to talk to you about something a struggle that I've been encountering. And it's about roadblocks. Look, I love to write, and it's really how I predominantly express myself. And it's a love and a passion of mine. And yet, oddly enough, these past 2 weeks, I have really experienced writer's block badly. And typically, I'm inspired by things I see on social media or a sentence in a book or an article I'm reading that'll help get me moving, you know? Sometimes things pop into our awareness. We're like, oh my gosh, I'd love to write about that, or I'd love to speak about that. But in the past 2 weeks, it's like nothing has inspired me to write about. So it's been pretty difficult to put my thoughts together for this week's episode, last week's episode. And in all honesty, that's why there were the replays. I was stuck and I felt numb to inspiration. And I was hitting this major roadblock and I could not break through. And I told this to my producer and she told me, she says, Janis, what would you tell one of your clients who's experiencing this? Talk about the block with your audience. So here I am. I'm talking about my block. And I don't know about you, but it's foreign to me not to be inspired to write. And if you're a writer, you can understand this. Sometimes we hit these snags and we get stuck. And it's foreign to me to not feel open to divine messages to share with y'all. But I guess that's what I'm supposed to talk about today. The fact that inspiration isn't always at the tip of your fingers, you know? So blocks and feeling stuck and wanting not to feel stuck, feeling resourceless to become unstuck, feeling unable to deal with a roadblock in my way. My dilemmas, I don't know, may sound silly to you because I know everybody is in different parts of their lives, right? And each one of us is challenged by, different things. But when you're struggling in your life with your skill set, it's not trivial at all. So I just ask you to think about that as I talk to you today. So I want to ask you a question. You know me, I like to ask questions. Where in your life do you feel like your skill sets have been paralyzed? And I don't know if you've really ever thought about them that way. That's how I felt. So that's the only way that I could describe. It was like paralyzed. So where in your life do you feel cemented to the ground, unable to move forward? Where in your life do you feel unable to overcome what's in your way? Trying to push through doesn't help, does it? And denying that it exists and avoiding it doesn't work either, right? So it doesn't make it go away if you get angry with it either. So what do you do when you hit a roadblock in your life and you spend time there and all the methods that you've used before that have helped you move through, they just don't work? That's what I experienced this week. It was weird. It's weird. I've been there before, but I hadn't experienced that in quite a while. and I could not move through it. And it wasn't that I told myself that I couldn't. I literally felt stuck. And it's no coincidence that it's Mercury retrograde too. So we really are in essence not encouraged in really any way to move forward during this time. It's more of a gathering, a redefining, a reexamining, looking at things. And I guess I did that too. Looked at things. I said, what do I need to do differently to break through this block? So what do you do when you hit a roadblock in your life? Maybe you've been in an argument with your spouse and it isn't resolved at all or not entirely, and you experience extended tension. What do you do to break through that? Maybe you're starting your own business, and as a new business owner, you never anticipated the detours, the extra expenses, the undedicated employees, or the amount of time and energy that you really needed to grow it, or the delays in sales. And you feel overwhelmed or even worse. Maybe you're struggling financially and you've been hit with a bill that wiped out all your savings that you had, or your bills increased unexpectedly, or you were hit with a car repair payment that was unexpected, and you don't know how you're going to pay for it. What do you do then to have a breakthrough? Maybe you're at a point in your life where you know you need to pivot and change direction, but you have no freaking clue what that direction is, what direction to go in, and you believe that there really isn't anybody that can help you and you're all alone. What do you do to break through? What do you do? How do you get around? And more importantly, how do you get through the roadblock? To me, it requires only two things to move through any roadblock. And those two things are staying present, which means not living in the fear of future because you can't control that. And the second is take it step by step. What do I mean about that? What do I mean by that? I'm a huge proponent of being guided with next steps. And I know more often than not, I get in my own way. I try to outthink myself because I'm in thinking mode. And you know what? None of us can outthink ourselves. I can't. And recently I was made aware of this. I just finished attending a 3-day online retreat. Really wonderful, from one of my mentors. And in fact, I'm actually going to be joining the year-long business coaching program that he has. I'm really excited. And I realized one thing, that I've been operating too long in isolation, in my own vacuum. And even though I'm connected to others and I see other people, all of that, when it comes to my professional development, I have kept myself in my vacuum. That is a block that I need to get through, that I need to break through. So when I stress my mind, I can't get guidance. So I guess maybe this writer's block was all about being so much in my mind, really in a desperate state of trying to find the best content to talk about today, instead of just not worrying about it. I've recorded enough episodes that I can throw them up for weeks at a time and not worry about it. But I always like to share new stuff. So when I stress my mind and push the thinking, I can't get guidance. And if I don't relax, I can't receive. And I have been pulling tarot cards and oracle cards and around this. I do that a lot. So if I encounter something that I don't immediately have an answer for, I go to my divination tools. And pulling cards is one of the things that I do on a regular basis. And so here's the thing, right? When you're really genuinely asking the universe a question, it will give you the answer. So I pull from several decks at a time usually. I like to see the continuity. And guess what showed up in 4 decks of cards? Open your arms to receive. Stop trying so hard. Everything's going to be okay. And this one, expect a miracle. So you see, I need to reach out and get help outside of me, and I struggle too. And these reminders, though, when I got them, they kind of felt confusing. I was like, well, what? I mean, I feel like I'm in a flow state. I don't understand what I got to let go of. I don't know. And so I sat with that for a while. I didn't try to think about it. I just sat with it. What does open myself to receive mean? What does stop trying so hard mean? What does expect a miracle mean? Look, intellectually, yes, I got it. But personally, because I was so stressed out about being blocked, and here I am trying to finish my book too, my second book. I felt it when I started there too. I kept myself blocked from understanding what all of that meant because I was stressed about it. But now I do. Bottom line is that in order to see solutions, I have to stop trying to see them. So I have to stop pushing myself. I wonder how hard you try and push yourself to see the answers and then get really pissed off or frustrated because they don't come. So if there's a piece of advice today that I have for you, it's stop pushing yourself to try to figure it out in your mind. Even if you're in the middle of climbing your Mount Everest in your life, right? Even if you're scared shitless about how you're going to pay your bills, even if you're still unresolved with your partner in your relationship, even if your business isn't achieving what you want it to, just stop pushing and just stop thinking. Stop trying to intellectually figure out the answer and let it come to you. Go do something mindless and just be aware of the fears or the worries or the stress that you have, but don't give power to them by doing what they tell you to do, like, oh, just give up, or you're not meant to do that, or declare bankruptcy, or just leave the relationship, or don't seek outside help. In fact, I want you to respect your roadblocks and your fears. Acknowledge that they are there, but do not let them lead you. Do not let them get in your way. You see, roadblocks teach us to do differently. Roadblocks are diversions that we need. Have you ever thought of a roadblock that way? That you actually needed that diversion? You see, roadblocks, they serve us. They help us build skills. They help us build self-reliance, confidence, clarity, sturdiness, among other things. So I guess I moved beyond my writer's block, right? Having written some notes for today. And if I remain present just in the moment as much as I can, remind myself to do that, then I know that I'm just where I need to be, roadblock and all. You see, roadblocks are there for a reason. Let the reason about why it's there show itself to you. Relax your thinking mind. And then follow guidance when you say, okay, what do I need to know about this roadblock? What am I supposed to do with it? And just give yourself the grace and the time and the breath and the presence to let it be shown to you. The answers are waiting in the wings for you to stop pushing them away. They're waiting. They want to come through. So I encourage you to lean back. Go do something that doesn't require thinking. And know that when you have had challenges in the past, I want you to really think about this. When those roadblocks have appeared, you've always been shown the way through via ideas, inspired thoughts, people that have said stuff to you, synchronicities, people who have been sent to you to help you. There's always a way through. You have to get out of your own way, though. And you know what? In most circumstances, we are our own roadblocks. So please don't ever believe that roadblocks are permanent. Nothing is permanent except for the present moment. Now is always now. Now is always happening. Nothing is permanent. Remember that. Roadblocks are teachers. Remember that. Blocks push us to pause, reflect, redirect, and recalibrate. Remember that. Use them to your advantage. Remember that. It's in your way for a reason. Remember that. I hope that if you're facing some sort of challenge or roadblock, I guarantee you that you are. It may be a very big one. It may be a small one. But please, I encourage you, have the sense of mind to stop using your mind and chillax and lean back and do something that occupies your mind so that you make room for the answers to come through or the people to show up or the synchronicities to occur. Roadblocks are there for a reason. Use them, exploit them, grow from them. I wish you a blessed day, a wonderful week, and as always, live intuitively.
Thanks for listening to The Intuitive Therapist. If you like what you heard, the best compliment you can give us is to share this podcast with a friend. And be sure to give us some stars and a favorable review at Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen in.